Hi out there in the YouTube world. So, you got me, the Puzzle Master, again. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about homosexuality and reasons why it should be accepted and not judged upon. And why, really, I don't think it even is so much. If anyone out there doesn't know my age, I'm 27 years old, and I actually came out in grade 10, first day of grade 10. And I will admit that, that was quite a while ago, and back in that day, things were a little more rough, or there was a little bit more bigotry and arguing and teasing when it comes to the subject matter. Like, when I actually created, I created a POF account a long time ago. And I created it because I thought, this is like a social media network, and having a profile, I'm going to get to see all the other people that are gay, and it's going to be like this warm, fuzzy feeling because I'm not going to be alone. Well, back then it actually was kind of a bummer, because I swear on my soul, cross my heart and hope to die, throw it away with a key, that when I created my profile, there was, I think, either 4 or 5, but definitely 4 or 5. Like, there was under 5 people that had a POF account that said that they were homosexual. Now, obviously, given that, you'd think that, like, that's pretty tough. But now, on self-reflection, and now that all this time has passed by, I can actually see that it has, like, skyrocketed, and now there's like 20-30 pages. I haven't gone through and actually counted them, but yeah, that kind of, like, that comfort zone that I was striving to looking for a network that I would be able to, have comfort in. Not that I wanted to be all like, ooh, getting kinky and all that. I just wanted to know that there was other people like me out there. And when I first created my account, it didn't seem like there was that many people out there. But there are now. And in many aspects, it makes me feel proud of myself, because I actually helped to be like the initial wave. I was the straw that broke the camel's back. And then there's this giant flood of people who, due to my honesty and my perseverance and character strength, I was actually able to help other people in the coming out process. And especially, if anyone knows me, I'm very into astrology. And you can actually tell a little bit about how gay someone is, or curious they might be, depending on their planetary placements. Now, I don't really want to get into all of that, because I don't want any, like, homophobe people to, like, be like, oh, I'm going to just pinpoint these specific signs and say that's a gay sign. Because any of the signs of the zodiac, any of them, can have homosexual tendencies. It's more about the planet positionings, and if they're in trines, or if they're in sextiles, or if they have squares, and in what houses they fall in. It doesn't really matter the specific signs, although that is an entire layer to itself of complexity. But you can't just say, like, that, like, I'm Gemini. Like, I have Gemini moon, I should say. I'm Taurus sun, and I'm gay. And I'm sure that there are a lot of people out there who have that exact same 12 sign placement through the zodiac, like with those 2 signs correlating, that are 100% straight. And there is nature versus nurture. So at the same aspect, there could be base components in your childhood that can affect your upbringing. But that does not discount astrology, because you know what? Who are you brought up by? You're brought up by other people. And those other people, they have charts too. So you could probably do the math and pinpoint certain character traits in other people that brought that out in you, or brought out certain circumstances in your character trait that would emphasize that in your development as you get older. So, My basic point of this is that we shouldn't be judging other people because, Jesus himself said you don't judge other people, lest ye judge yourself. Now, that doesn't mean that, I'm not saying that it's, awesome and that it's the way to be, and I'm not saying that everyone in the world should be gay. Because if we were, well, then there might not be much of a future for the earth, because then there would be no reproduction. But, at the same token, we're kind of overpopulated. And it might be nature's, God's, whatever we want to call it, reality, the matrix that we're in. It might be a way of nature trying to defend against overpopulation by having more gay people. Because nature is just like, whoa Nelly, slow the frick down on your baby spurting. And I've always had thoughts of overpopulation in my mind, and the fact that every couple seconds there's people dying of starvation who don't even have water. And yes, I have my bling and I have all this stuff, but you know what? I'm not judging me. And I can't see you on the other side of this computer screen, but I'm sure that you have accumulated some kind of material wealth, or you wouldn't be watching me from a freaking computer screen, would you? You wouldn't be watching me from a computer screen. If you were completely non-physically oriented in your goals and in your life path, and you were only acquiring treasures of the mind, then you would have no tools necessary to help impart information to the rest of the world. And there's a part of me that feels that having those tools available that's helping other people does it justice, and it kind of negates the negativity of it, because it's not just I'm accumulating these kind of things for my own personal self-gain. When it comes to having silver, my 4-ounce silver chain, pretty heavy. It's more just because, fiat money and the way that the system is going, 99% of our money is freaking digital, and then the rest of it's paper. And then there's this small, I don't even know if you can see that, small percentile that is physical. And and even smaller, take 1% of that. And that's how much actually the civilians have. The majority of it is just being hoarded by bankers and royal families. But that's a completely different note. Kind of segued off there. But my main point of that is that you only have the treasures of your mind. Of your mind. Not of anybody else's. So you can utilize this time that you have on the earth plane to develop your spiritual abilities. Or you can just friggin' go party and go willy-nilly and go to the grave. And I personally believe in reincarnation, so if you didn't get it the first time around, well, whoop-de-doop, it's kind of like a roller coaster ride. You have forever to figure it out. And especially from studying astrology and all of this, and I highly recommend that you look it up. It's called MOKSHA, M-O-O, MOKSHA, S-H-A, MOKSHA, I think that's how it is, but if you Google search that, I'm pretty sure that you'll find it, and basically it links to reincarnation and astrology, and basically the point of that is that when you have fulfilled all of your desires, when there is nothing left that you desire, you'll simply cease. Not cease to be, you'll still exist, but you might not incarnate on the physical realm anymore. You might just be up there, up in the ether. And isn't that even what all of our Bibles and all of our religious teaching, no matter if it's from the Quran or the Bhagavad Gita or St. James Christian Version Bible, all of these different religions talk in context of, you come back until you have learned your lessons. And it's more about the treasures of your mind, because none of the physical stuff you really get to keep. So try to cultivate your spiritual awareness, and then when you die, your next life will be even better. Or maybe it just won't be because you won't have a next life. That's kind of what moksha is all about. And I know when I speak of moksha that a lot of people are just kind of like, it's completely like in one ear out the other. But I have planetary placements. Like my sun and my moon are both high moksha activating nakshatras. Not just talking the 12 zodiac signs here, but yeah, so I know that there will be other people out there that have similar placements as me that this will make sense to. And for the people out there who it doesn't make sense to, just know that, doesn't it make sense that you should not judge other people for their actions and behaviors? Because they are not your actions and behaviors. And you can only really be the judge of your action and behavior through your consciousness, which is your individual filter, a brain filter, of the world around you. Like, so you know what I mean? Like, if someone is wearing yellow sunglasses and someone's wearing red sunglasses, they see the world differently. And it doesn't mean that orange, the combination of the two, is the truth. The truth is subjective to your consciousness and to your individual experiences, which you have cultivated not only in this lifetime, but in many past lifetimes. That's why when you try to cast judgment on someone else, it's not going to fall true because you don't have their judgment filter and their experiences. And everyone has a consciousness, and everyone knows, at least from their perspective, right from wrong. So if they've done something and it seems like they don't feel guilt for it, well, they haven't learned the lessons that are required for them to have built in the experiences to know that it is wrong. And that's what happens through reincarnation, is we like this ladder of consciousness until we eventually are above the ladder, you know, just like on the bill with the Illuminati and all that. The eye at the top of the pyramid is not connected to the base of the pyramid. And that's because when you've reached a certain level of awareness, you're no longer even here. And I know for a lot of people that might be a difficult thing to hear because, well, don't you probably want to be here. Like, I mean, even myself, I'd want to be here. At least I did at the time of my birth, or else I wouldn't have incarnated. But the point of, if you study Vedic astrology and you look up nakshatras and moksha, is that when you have reached a full enlightenment or attainment of experiences, it's like you're already level 100. There is nothing more to do except to move on to the next game, which, well, that's a bit of a mystery until we get there, I guess, but yeah. I hope this video was somewhat informative and that I was able to pass some information off to you using the power of my Mercury. And, yeah, I hope that you like this and you leave me some feedback, because, you know, if I don't get any feedback, it's kind of like I'm just talking to my computer screen. So, it's much, much appreciated. Bye for now.